Your motorcycle is lying to you. Right now, it is hiding a worse throttle, a louder knock, a heavier vibration, and an invisible parking lot. Disaster, and it is doing all of that with factory parts you have never questioned once. 17 mods. Most under $50, some under $10. Every single one will make you ask why this was not installed from the factory. Save this video right now. You will want this list the next time you open a parts tab at midnight. Let us count down from number 17 right now. Starting off with number 17, 90-degree valve stems. Picture this. You are crouched in a gas station parking lot, knuckles grazed, wrists twisted at an angle that your physiotherapist would personally object to, trying to fit a tire pressure gauge around a massive 12.6-inch brake rotor. The valve stem is pointing directly at the rotor. Of course it is. It always is. 90-degree aluminum valve stems solve this with such ruthless simplicity, it is almost insulting that they are not standard. They point directly outward from the wheel rim, completely clear of the caliper, the rotor, and every other obstacle the factory decided to arrange directly in front of the stem. Checking and topping pressure becomes effortless. Your knuckles are saved. Cost $15 to $25. Requires a shop visit to unseat the tire bead, which is the only reason this is not a pure driveway job. And here's the part nobody says loudly enough. Do not buy cheap rubber angled stems. At 80 miles per hour, centrifugal force will bend and tear a rubber stem off the wheel entirely. Buy bolt-in aluminum. Only aluminum. This is non-negotiable. All right, knuckles saved on pressure checks. But what about brake bleeding? The job that basically requires you to clone yourself just to do it solo. Number 16 costs $15 and makes the whole operation embarrassingly simple. Going into number 16, speed bleeder valves. Bleeding brakes solo is one of those jobs where you truly understand why motorcycles sometimes make people consider a nice quiet hobby instead. Someone pumps the lever. Someone opens the bleeder. Someone watches the fluid. You are one person. You have two hands. The math does not work. Speed bleeder valves replace your factory brake caliper bleed nipple with one containing an internal spring-loaded check valve. Crack it open a quarter turn. Pump the brake lever, and the fluid flows out without sucking air back in on the return stroke. The one-way valve handles the physics problem automatically. A messy, frustrating two-person job just became a solo 15-minute task with zero drama. $15 per caliber. Beginner-friendly DIY. One very important warning though, these are hollow bolts. They are not structural fasteners and they do not pretend to be. Over-tighten one and it snaps off flush inside your caliper. That specific extraction scenario will absolutely ruin your afternoon, your weekend, and possibly your entire relationship with brake maintenance. Snug, not gorilla. Snug. Brakes dialed in, but if you still feel like you are fighting the bike under hard braking, arms tensed, wrists carrying your entire body weight, the fix is not in the brakes at all. It is right between your knees. Number 15, polyurethane tank grips. Factory painted gas tanks are smooth, beautiful, and completely useless when it comes to giving your inner thighs anything to hold on to under hard braking. Without grip, your legs slide forward, your upper body weight transfers to your wrists, and after an hour of spirited riding, you arrive at your destination with hands that have lost the ability to feel things. Polyurethane tank grips, the stomp grips style, are textured pads that stick to the side indents of the fuel tank where your knees naturally rest. They let you lock your thighs onto the bike so your core supports your upper body instead of your wrists. The ergonomic improvement is immediate and significant. Sport bike riders who install these and then remove them describe the experience as riding with oven mitts back on. $45 to $65. Peel and stick. The one caution that catches people out, the ultra-aggressive spiked grip variants will chew directly through the inner thighs of standard denim jeans within a few months. If you are not wearing textile riding pants, choose the smoother grip texture. Your jeans will thank you. Your dry cleaning bill will especially thank you. Thighs locked in, wrists saved. Now let us deal with the vibration that has been slowly numbing your hands for the past 6 months. This fix involves physics, mass, and costs about $30. Number 14, heavyweight anti-vibration bar ends. At high RPM, inline-4 engines and large single cylinders produce a very specific buzzing frequency through the handlebars. It is not painful exactly. It is more like your hands slowly fall asleep at highway speed until you look down and realize you cannot clearly feel the throttle anymore. Factory bar ends are often cheap, hollow plastic. They weigh almost nothing. This is the problem. Solid brass or heavy stainless steel bar end weights add serious mass to the extreme outer ends of your handlebars. The physics principle at work here is resonance tuning. Adding mass to the end of a vibrating rod changes its natural frequency, breaking the resonance cycle that was transmitting straight into your palms. It is the same principle used in tuned mass dampers on skyscrapers. Your handlebars are not a skyscraper, but the physics does not care. $30 to $50. One single bolt per side. The only thing to remember is that solid weights is to add an inch or two of total bar width. If you aggressively lane split in heavy traffic, that extra width is now relevant to your mirrors and your general structural integrity. Measure before you commit to the tightest gaps. If this list is already changing how you think about your bike, subscribe right now. We put out mechanical truth and clever upgrades every single week. No fluff, no sponsored nonsense, just real stuff that works. Speaking of throttle feel, what if a $10 stock OEM part from a completely different motorcycle made your bike accelerate noticeably faster? Not a jet kit, not a power commander, a $10 plastic tube. And now, number 13, quick turn throttle tube, the R6 mod. This is a legendary community hack and it has been hiding in plain sight for decades. The Yamaha R6 throttle tube, the hard plastic tube that lives directly underneath your rubber throttle grip, has a larger cam diameter than most street bikes. Swapping it onto your non-super sport machine means you only need to twist your wrist a quarter turn to hit wide open throttle instead of the awkward half grip re-grab you currently do mid-pull. The difference in feel is immediate and dramatic. Throttle response feels sharper, more connected, more alive. Street bikes and adventure bikes with long, lazy throttle throws benefit most. The part itself costs $10 to $15 from any Yamaha dealer and fits a wide range of bikes with minor adjustment to your cable-free play. Here's the serious caution, and we mean it. This makes the throttle snappy. Beginners with whiskey throttle tendencies, that involuntary wrist twist during a moment of panic, should absolutely not install this. If you are still developing your throttle control, leave this one alone until you are confident. For experienced riders, it is brilliant. For less experienced riders, it is the world's fastest lesson in consequences. Throttle sharpened. Now about the sound your factory horn makes. You know that noise, that tiny, apologetic, deeply embarrassing meep that alerts absolutely nobody to your existence on the road. That stops today. Number 12, plug-and-play electromagnetic horn. A stock motorcycle horn produces roughly 90 decibels. A full-size pickup truck horn produces 110. That is the gap between being noticed and being completely ignored by the person in the SUV who is about to change lanes directly into your left shoulder while staring at their phone. Aftermarket electromagnetic horns close that gap completely. A quality unit like a Styebel Nautilus produces 115 decibels, a blast that is not only physically louder, but tonally identical to a large vehicle. Distracted drivers respond to it because their brain pattern matches it to a car. Your polite factory meep gets mentally categorized as bicycle. Nobody moves for a bicycle. $30 to $45. You will need to wire it using a standard 12-volt relay directly to your battery so you don't fry your factory horn switch. One thing to verify first, aftermarket horns are physically deeper than stock units. On some bikes, the extra depth means the horn contacts the front fender under heavy braking compression. Check your clearance before you commit. A horn that gets crushed by your own front end during an emergency stop is the worst possible outcome of what is otherwise a completely excellent upgrade. You can now be heard, but quietly, internally, your engine has been accumulating a problem for every mile you have ridden it. The fix is a $5 magnet. Rolling into number 11, magnetic oil drain plug. Every internal combustion engine on the planet sheds microscopic metal particles as it runs. Bearing surfaces wear, gear faces mesh, cam lobes rub. All of that contact produces tiny, ferrous shavings that circulate in your oil until your oil filter catches them, or until your filter is full and they bypass it entirely and score your bearings on the next pass. A magnetic drain plug is the cheapest engine insurance on earth. It is a standard drain plug with a rare earth magnet bonded to the tip. Every oil change, when you pull it out, you will see a small gray fuzzy growth on the magnet. That is metal that is no longer inside your bearings. Clean it off, reinstall, and repeat every service interval for the rest of the engine's life. $10 to $20. Install it during your next oil change and never think about it again. One honest note, aluminum and titanium shavings are non-magnetic, so this does not catch everything. It is not a substitute for regular oil changes. It is an additional layer of protection, not a replacement for the basics. You still change your oil on schedule. This just helps. Engine protected. But let us move 12 inches forward to the most vulnerable and expensive single component sitting completely exposed at the front of your bike. We're now at number 10, mesh radiator guard. Your front tire is a catapult. At highway speed, it launches rocks, road debris, gravel, and the occasional bolt left by the car in front of you at your radiator with significant force. Your radiator's aluminum cooling fins are not armored. They are delicate, and a single well-aimed piece of debris at 70 miles per hour can puncture the radiator core, dump your coolant onto the rear tire, and strand you on the side of a highway with a bike that cannot be ridden until it is rebuilt. An aluminum mesh radiator guard deflects those impacts. It is mounted a short distance in front of the cooling fins, creating a standoff that absorbs or redirects debris before it reaches the delicate core. For adventure riders doing highway miles and gravel sections, this is essentially mandatory equipment that the factory somehow decided to leave off. $40 to $100, depending on fitment quality. 4 bolts and some zip ties for most installations. One important caution: very cheap, very thick guards from overseas can restrict airflow enough to raise coolant temperatures in slow summer traffic. If you are buying budget, look for fine mesh with maximum open area. The guard deflects rocks. It should not also deflect AIR. Hit that like button right now if this list is saving you money and saving your bike. It pushes this toward every rider who needs to see it. Now let us talk about the panic-inducing scenario of parking on a hot summer day. Another masterpiece at number 9, kickstand enlarger foot. Hot asphalt is not solid. At 95 degrees Fahrenheit, a standard pointy kickstand tip will sink into blacktop like a nail into butter, tipping your 500-pound motorcycle over in a gas station parking lot while you're inside paying for fuel. This is not a theoretical risk. It happens constantly, every summer, to someone who thought the ground looked fine. A kickstand enlarger foot is a bolt-on plate that triples the contact surface area at the tip of your side stand. More surface area means the same weight is distributed across a much larger footprint, dramatically reducing the pressure per square inch on the asphalt. Your bike stays put in conditions that would swallow a factory stand entirely. They also work brilliantly on dirt, gravel, and grass at campsites and trailheads. $20, 5 minutes, apply thread locker. Seriously, the vibration from a running engine will back the mounting bolt out over time without it. And a kickstand enlarger that falls off in traffic creates a scenario nobody wants to discuss. One fitment note: on tight sport bikes, double check that the wider foot clears your drive chain when the stand folds up. Most do, a few do not. Bike stays upright on the stand. But what happens on a cold Monday morning when you have not ridden in 2 weeks and the starter just clicks? That dead battery feeling is entirely preventable with a $10 wire. Up next is number 8, battery tender pigtail harness. Removing the seat, peeling off the side fairings, digging past the airbox, and reaching the battery terminals just to plug in a trickle charger is the kind of process that makes people not bother charging their battery at all, and then wonder why the bike will not start in February. A battery tender pigtail harness is a set of ring terminals that hardwire permanently to your battery posts with a SAE quick disconnect plug hanging out from under the seat edge. When you park for the week or the season, you plug the charger into that pigtail in 2 seconds. Zero disassembly, zero excuses. The battery is always ready. $10. Basic wrenching, red ring to positive, black ring to negative. Route the pigtail wire carefully because if it drapes against a hot exhaust pipe or chafes on a frame rail, you will melt through the insulation and blow a fuse at the most inconvenient possible moment. Cable management is the whole job here. Do it right once and forget it exists. Battery alive. Now let us talk about something that most riders never think about until they're almost hit by a car pulling out of a side street at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday because they genuinely did not see you coming. Number 7, retro-reflective rim tape. From a side profile at night, a motorcycle with dark wheels is practically invisible to a driver pulling out of a cross street. The headlight is narrow. The tail light points backward. There is essentially nothing signaling your presence from the 90-degree angle that a side street driver is looking from when they decide whether to pull out. High-grade retro-reflective rim tape sits on the flat lip of the wheel rim between the tire rubber and the spokes. When any vehicle's headlights sweep across it, the tape bounces that light directly back at the source with high intensity, turning your wheels into glowing halos that are impossible to miss from a side angle. It works on the same principle as road reflectors. The physics is aggressive. $15 to $30 DIY, but it requires patience and a steady hand around the full circumference of the rim. The critical prep step: clean the rim surface with strong rubbing alcohol and let it dry completely before touching the tape. Any contamination, oil, wax, road grime, your fingerprints, and the adhesive will fail within days. Clean the rim like your life depends on the adhesive, because honestly, some nights it does, visible from the side. Now let us deal with a different kind of suffering: the slow, relentless hand cramping that sets in around hour 2 of a long touring day. Number 6, slip-on foam grip covers. Factory grips are designed to a median diameter that works adequately for most hands and spectacularly for none of them. If you have large hands, you are squeezing them constantly to maintain control. Over a 4-hour ride, that repetitive grip tension turns into hand cramping, forearm fatigue, and a profound personal resentment toward whoever designed the factory handlebar spec. Grip puppies and similar slip-on foam covers slide directly over your existing grips, immediately increasing the diameter without any permanent modification whatsoever. They use high-density aerospace foam that compresses under grip pressure, but absorbs road harshness and engine buzz in a way that thin factory rubber simply cannot. The larger diameter means less squeezing force required. Less squeezing force means your hands work for 4 hours instead of 2. $20. Use soapy water to slide them on. They go on tight and stay tight. One genuine trade-off: the increased thickness makes it physically harder for riders with smaller hands to confidently reach the brake lever. If you have small hands, buy the thinner variant rather than the standard, and test the brake reach immediately after installation before you ride anywhere, especially the front brake. Hands sorted, but sometimes the whole riding position is the problem, not just the grips. If your lower back is screaming at you on long highway trips, the fix is not a chiropractor. It is a $50 machine metal block. Number 5, offset handlebar risers. Motorcycle ergonomics are designed for an average height rider in a showroom brochure who does not have back problems, does not have long arms, and does not ride for more than 45 minutes at a time. If you do not match that person exactly, and most of us do not, you are riding in a position that is actively compressing your lower vertebrae and pulling your shoulders forward for hours. Handlebar risers are machined metal blocks that bolt directly under your handlebar clamps, moving the bars up and back toward your chest. Even an inch of riser transforms the ergonomics of a cramped sport bike into something a human spine can tolerate for 300 miles. The change in lower back tension is immediate and significant. Tall riders on small bikes will feel like an entirely different motorcycle. $50 to $80. Intermediate DIY. The mandatory safety check after installation. Turn the handlebars from full left lock to full right lock slowly and feel for any sudden tension in the throttle cables or brake lines. Raising the bars stretches these cables, and if you do not have enough slack, the throttle can crack open when you turn, which is every bit as terrifying as it sounds. Check the cables, check them again, then ride. Back saved. Now let us talk about the one mod that protects you from the single most humiliating scenario in motorcycling: dropping your bike in a parking lot and snapping a lever clean in half, leaving you completely stranded. Check out number 4, adjustable shorty levers. Factory levers extend all the way to the end of the handlebars. When your bike tips over in a parking lot, and at some point it tips over in a parking lot, this is universal. The full-length lever hits the ground first and shatters, or bends to a completely non-functional angle. Either way, you are now standing next to a bike you cannot ride, trying to explain the situation to your insurance company. Shorty levers are short enough that during a tip over, they do not reach the pavement. The bar end takes the impact. The lever survives. Additionally, their adjustable reach dials let you set the exact distance from the grip to the lever blade, which means riders with smaller hands who currently use only their fingertips on factory levers can set up proper 2-finger braking technique. It changes the precision of your throttle blipping completely. $40 to $150. Easy installation, but pay close attention to the pivot details. The caution that cannot be overstated: do not buy the $20 Amazon specials. Cheap shorty levers have poorly machined pivot holes that drag on the master cylinder piston. As brake fluid heats up on a long ride, that drag creates hydraulic pressure buildup, and the front brake starts to self-apply at highway speed. That is not an inconvenience. That is a crash waiting to happen. Buy quality levers. It is your front brake. Spend the money. Subscribe right now so you never miss a breakdown like this one. 2 more mods left, one for the people being slowly cooked alive by their exhaust, and one for the dirt riders destroying fork seals every single season. Speaking of being cooked alive, if you ride a large V-twin, a Ducati, or anything with an undertail exhaust in summer traffic, you already know that this next mod is not optional. It is survival. We're now at number 3, heat reflective tape. Large displacement engines and high mount or undertail exhaust systems can radiate enough heat into the underside of the seat that the seat pan itself becomes an inconvenient grill. Not enough to cause actual burns usually, but more than enough to make stop-and-go summer traffic feel like a very personal punishment for choosing motorcycles over air-conditioned cars. Aerospace-grade gold or silver heat reflective tape applied to the underside of your seat pan blocks up to 80% of that radiant heat. The same material is used in racing to protect fuel tanks and fairings from exhaust heat. It is genuinely effective, and it costs about $25 in the quantities needed for a seat pan. Ducati riders, Big V twin owners, and anyone running a high-mount exhaust should consider this mandatory and install it immediately. One honest limitation: reflective tape only stops radiant heat, the heat that travels as invisible radiation through the air. If the metal seat frame is bolted directly to a hot engine mount and conducting heat through physical contact, the tape will not help with that. It is purely a radiant barrier. For most seat heat situations, it works brilliantly. For fully conductive contact situations, you need additional insulation between the metal components. Seat cool. Now the final mod, and this one is specifically for every dirt and enduro rider who has blown a fork seal mid-ride because air pressure built up inside the forks until the seals gave up. Number 2, push-button fork bleeders. Off-road riding is violent by definition. Every landing, every hard compression, every fast trail section forces air into your front fork legs and compresses it. That increasing pressure makes the suspension progressively stiffer over a ride, not because the damping changed, but because you are also compressing a growing pocket of air. Leave it long enough, and that trapped pressure forces its way past the fork seals, pushing oil out and destroying them. Push-button fork bleeders replace the tiny Phillips head screw on the top cap of each fork leg with a valve. Wheel off the ground, press the button once, the trapped air hisses out, and the suspension instantly returns to its correct plush feel. No tools, no oil loss, no seal damage. 15 seconds per fork, $15. Unscrew the old screw, thread in the new valve. The only rule: press them with the front wheel unweighted on a stand or with the wheel off the ground. Press them with the wheel loaded on the ground and you pull air into the fork instead of pushing it out. Wheel up, then press. Fork seals saved. One mod left. Number 1 is the most embarrassingly simple item on this entire list, and it solves a problem so specific and so annoying that riders who discover it cannot believe they ever lived without it. Finally, number 1, D-ring helmet lock extension. The factory underseat helmet hook on most motorcycles was designed by someone who does not lock helmets to motorcycles. It is impossibly short. To hook your helmet's D-ring onto it, you have to reach into the dark cavity under the seat at an angle that is anatomically unpleasant and drag the strap across your rear plastics in a way that leaves scratches you will notice and hate for the rest of your ownership. A D-ring helmet lock extension is a simple T-shaped metal bracket that threads through your helmet's D-rings and drops down several inches below the factory hook, putting the attachment point somewhere your hand can actually reach without performing any kind of contortion. You hook it, drop the seat, done. Helmet is locked, plastics are scratched, and you walk into the grocery store without carrying your helmet like an extremely awkward piece of luggage. $5 to $10, zero tools. Thread it through the D-rings and hang it on the existing hook. The honest limitation: it only secures the nylon strap. A determined thief with a knife can cut it in 5 seconds. But gear thieves are almost universally opportunistic. They want easy targets, not effort and witnesses. This stops casual theft completely. For dedicated, determined theft, a cable lock through the visor is better. But for 99% of parking situations, this $5 bracket is the only thing you needed. 17 mods, most under $50, a few under 10. Every single one fixing something that has been quietly annoying you, costing you, or putting your machine at unnecessary risk for years. Click the video showing on your screen right now to continue the ride. Subscribe to our channel and like this video, and put your helmet on when you hit the road.